And here we are, and I am here with my glasses on. I think that I have been told by my doctor that I will permanently have to come out of contacts. And I wasn't very happy about that, and then I was really unhappy because it kind of made me feel like, am I getting old? But it's just from overuse. It's actually a diagnosis overuse, contact overuse. And it's just when your eyeball says, can't take it anymore. You've had this contact in just too many years, and now your cornea is really irritated when it's put on. And some people develop a protein allergy. I don't know if that's true. I am going to probably get a second opinion because I really do like wearing contacts for obvious reasons, for makeup and not having this flash glare in my eyes right now, but got to be able to see. And I was a little bit down about it, and then I remembered a girlfriend of mine who just had a double mastectomy, and I thought, Beth, perspective. Sometimes I think we overreact to the things that are not so critical, and it matters to me, but perspective, right? I'm more concerned with a friend who's really having a tough time of a much greater loss than getting to wear contacts. So, anyway, how you doing? I'm going to be uploading this a little early because once again, I am going to be in an event, so I'm having my house sitter come over again. I know you're like, do you always have a house sitter? It's like, well, I don't like to leave my home alone, and of course I don't like to leave my dogs alone, but I just don't think it's smart to leave your house unattended. And a matter of fact, if she feels weird about being alone, she's got friends she can invite over, and that's fine with me. So anyway, so I don't have any fear about even saying that on the internet because she won't be alone. And I also always let the police know and neighbors know and stuff like that. I try to let people know just because we're friends with, we know policemen. But I try to let people know if I'm going to be out. And I know you can't believe I'm doing this right now because this is not supposed to be a makeup video, but I just noticed again I am so shiny because I have not dusted my makeup. Oh, by the way, this is the makeup day that I wore my Urban Decay, Naked Skin. And I hate their names. I absolutely hate their names. I've almost not got their product because their names are so bad. And so I am just a little bit shiny. And I don't want to be shiny for you. Anyway, how's your day been? I hope it's been good. Like I said, I'm going to be uploading this early for you, so I hope it makes you have a better day if you have not had such a great day. So this will be up maybe tonight or tomorrow morning early. I don't know. Probably tomorrow morning early. But anyway, it may be short and sweet too, but I just feel like sometimes this is just supposed to be, not necessarily a Bible study lesson, but just a sweet little devotion time for us together as Southern subbies. Those that want to, not everybody has to. And I lost my place on my notes. Hold on. Here it is. Okay. So what am I going to talk about today? Well, worship. In a different way. God tells us in His Word to worship Him only. Any of you who know the Bible, if you don't know the Bible, I'm sure you've heard the commandment. When God gives us His commandments, when Jesus is asked what is the greatest commandment, it's always about worshiping God and serving Him only. And then living that out in your life as best you can. And He knows you'll fail. That's why He died on the cross. Because He knew that our best attempt at holiness would fail. So remember, we made a trade. Anybody who tells you that it is a unconditional thing, I don't know where they're getting their teaching. It is very conditional. Here's the condition. Everybody gets to come the same way. So it's level at the foot of the cross. Doesn't matter who you are, what you've done, what you look like, male or female. It doesn't matter. Everyone can come the same way. And it's not overcomplicated so that, some people come this way, some people come this way. Some have more requirements than others. It's one way. It's very fair. It always bugs me when I hear people say, well, why that so narrow-minded? I'm like, it is so fair. It is the most fair thing I've ever heard. That it's just one way. Everybody comes the same way. And it's not through any effort of your own, so everybody can come. Well, what's the way? His way. That's what you give up. You give up your way. People say, that's not so hard. You ever tried? You ever tried to give up your way of doing things? Try being married sometime. No kidding. You know, God talks about our relationship to Him as like a marriage relationship, and that's why it's holy and ordained. But and He defines it. He defines marriage. We don't. He wants us to come to Him one way, through Jesus Christ, through His holiness, because we can't come and be in His holiness through our own holiness, because we're not holy and we never will be. He made us holy, and then when we fell by listening to another voice, He made a way for us to even come back to Him in holiness and spare us the wrath we deserve for our sin. And the wrath is from Him. Don't be confused. It's not from Satan. It's from God. And it's the wrath for sin. And Jesus took that wrath on Himself so that we don't have to. But it's a trade. You give Him your life. Your whole life. All your unholiness. And He gives you His life. Absolutely perfect holiness. You give up your way of doing things. And you take up His way of doing things. And you wake up every morning. Or you should. I should. We should wake up and say, God, what would you like to do with me today? Because I'm yours. And I know I'm not alone. And I'm yours till you decide to call me home to heaven. And then I'm still yours forever. I'm forever yours. Guys, you couldn't make a better trade. Best trade there is. Beats Wall Street, beats any kind of trade that there is. You come out on the good end. Jesus got the rough end of that deal. Taking the wrath of God on Himself so that we would not. That is proven love. When we get confused about things, about whether or not God loves us or whether or not He's able to change things, He's certainly able. He is all-powerful. And He has proven that He loves us. So even when we don't understand it all, we can trust Him. And we should worship Him. But today, what I'm talking about is worshiping only Him. And we have to think about whatever occupies our mind, even if it's not things that occupy our mind. That definitely, it becomes your God. It can be worries or anxiety. Whatever you indulge in develops as an idol. So if you constantly worry, constantly are in anxiety, it gains a life on its own. It gets infested into your mind. And you can break free from that when you affirm your trust in God. And so throughout your life, and through mine, especially recently, and He always is, as long as you'll ask Him, He will work in your life. He will give you opportunities to trust Him. And then when you trust Him and He pulls you through it, your faith builds, and your faith builds, and you mature, and you mature, and you're refreshed by being in His presence. It actually refreshes you to be in His presence. So what goes on in your mind, it may be invisible to me, and it may be invisible to your family or friends, but it's not invisible to God. He sees our every thought. He knows what we allow to occupy our thoughts. So this is going to be my challenge to you, and that is good thought choices. Diligently, deliberately choose your thoughts. Guard your thoughts. The Bible tells us to guard our thoughts. I wanted to also look, here's, and I don't know if you guys put me on hold and you write all this down, or if you just look right now. So if you want to, I'm fixing to give you some scripture. So the first one, and then you can put me on hold and look it up if you want, or just write it down and save and look it for later. But Psalm 112:7. And why don't I look these things up in advance for you guys so I don't take any time looking it up? Because I'm in real time, man. I'm showing you it takes a minute to look up stuff in the Bible, and that's okay. Not everybody's super fast at it. I've never been super fast at it. It helps you to have those little tabs on the side. For the Bibles that I gave away, I gave you a pack of tabs if you want to. You just put it on the front and on the back, and then you seal it, and then you go to the next inch down to the next book. If you need help, contact me. But anyway, and that does help. One of them had the thumb index on it so that it's easy. But it's also good to just maybe get a bookmark or look at the front of the Bible and just memorize the order pretty good as best as you can. If you're not good at memorizing, just, basics. Or you can just look it up by page number. Or flip through it till you find it if you have a general idea where things are. But this is Psalm 112:7. It says, "He will have no fear of bad news. His heart is steadfast, trusting in the Lord. His heart is secure. He will have no fear. In the end, he will look in triumph on his foes." Have you ever gotten bad news? Do you think that God's going to keep you from bad news? No. But you don't have to have fear of bad news. Now, I know that we're all human enough. You're like, Beth, we're all human. Yes, that doesn't excuse things, by the way. Just because someone's human and does a bad thing doesn't mean that it's okay. If someone has got a problem with molesting children, well, he's just human. Well, that doesn't mean that's okay. So don't use that excuse, guys. We're fleshly, and so we are going to have sin. But God made us to be holy, and that's where we're headed. Remember, that's the goal, is to be like Him. That's the goal every day, and you'll never accomplish it this side of heaven. But He'll always work you towards it, and you'll be more selfless and less selfish. He'll mature you, just like children who are immature. They're selfish, and as you get older and older, or more and more mature, I should say, especially in the Lord, you get more about God and less about self, more about others and less about self. So we're all human enough that we do hear bad news and we immediately freak, and that's when we have to remember, trust God instead, worship Him only, and prove it by making those good thought choices. It is a choice after all. So I hope this helped you guys today, and I will see you again in my next video. And I love you guys very much. If you also want to look up 1 Corinthians 13:11, that's another good one. And I'll see you again soon. Bye!